Welcome back to our final round of Swiss for our challenge today at Psycho Turtle in Pico Rivera, California. Dennis Geisler, Arnie Wolf here with you with two 3-on-1 players, which means the winner is guaranteed a spot into Top Cut, probably into Top 4. The loser going to have to worry about that bubble. So we have Benny Vasquez and Angelica Weiss. Benny running the Calyrex Shadow Rider, Koraidon, Cute Bonnet, Raging Bolt, Chiyu, and Ditto. And Angelica on the other end with the Tornadus, the Urshifu Rapid Strike, the Ogerpon Hearthflame, that Zamazenta, the Raging Bolt, and the Calyrex Shadow Rider.
Now, Ditto is such a fun thing to see. I feel like we've seen so many really creative Pokemon today, and Ditto keeping that trend going. But as we were talking about earlier, Zamazenta Calyrex Shadow Rider is a very, very prominent combination. We have not seen a ton of Zamazenta today, and part of it too, like we were saying, is it's a little different to play Zamazenta in this format than it is when you were using single restricted, because it is just a fundamentally different vibe. Here, we've seen very similar teams, the Koraidon, Chiyu, and Brubonnet together. The Ditto's a fun little adaptation. Usually we see something along the lines of Fluttermane, but it seems like Calyrex has taken that type of role.
And the one little thing I want to mention before we potentially see it, Ditto is a really cute option into Zama, because you switch in on it, you get the +1 that it already had, and then you get the Dauntless Shield boost. So you end up at +2 while the other one ends up at +1 defense.
Not to mention that this, especially if you're able to put that into a right spot, and Betty better lock in the same corner. But if you were to, we're not going to see Ditto, but it is a nice option considering how many physical attackers there are on Angelica's side, especially because this Ditto is Terra Water. But that being said, you have the Calyrex Shadow Rider and the Raging Bolt kind of doing the most damage in terms of special attackers. And we do have Tornadus as well, but you do have to connect with your Bleakwinds. Benny raiding with an almost direct counter with that Raging Bolt and Brubonnet.
I see the Torn Urshifu and I'm like, okay, there's some options, and I see these two, I'm like, ugh.
Not to mention
I don't know about this one, dog.
This Raging Bolt has Electro Web as well, just to counter.
Well, and I mean, it's got Clap on top of everything. Only it's just not. It ain't fun.
And this is a Mystic Water Urshifu, so it can't U-turn. It doesn't have Focus Sash. It can Terra to Steel, which is solid. But
and
do you really want to
Terra? Combat, I guess. Like in close combat, the Cute Bonnet. But it still is not fun. It's still pretty unpleasant.
I kind of like that idea of just doubling into the Bonnet.
You just have to hit it. Yeah. Like, get something off the field, because you know your Urshifu's not going to be very long for this battle.
We see the Detect on the Urshifu plus a Tailwind from Tornadus. It's not bad because it does help for your back too if you're Angelica. Not necessarily super helpful right away. It does negate the Electro Web damage, which is nice, and especially too if this Spore from the Brubonnet goes into this Urshifu, which it does not. I was gonna say if it did, that's really nice because you're still going to be faster. But no, this Tornadus is just kind of sitting there, not doing much.
Sleepy mode.
And you have a free Thunderclap plus Spore on the opposing Urshifu, which is extremely nice. The question is, do you want to burn your Terra?
Spore on the Switch. This is really unpleasant.
Honestly, I kind of like the idea that Benny is just going to be like baiting that out. I would kept the Bonnet in specifically and gone for a Spore while going for a
yeah, I think you want a Spore regardless.
It just seems safe. You can take a close combat.
Like, yeah, you can. I think you just take a close combat. You can switch into Korai. I think that's pretty safe, because then you get the defense boost on the Bonnet, and so you definitely take the close combat.
Another option is to switch the Brubonnet into the Calyrex, because good chance it's going to be close combat into that slot.
Okay.
Oh, Tornadus swapping out. Want to take advantage of that Tailwind that is up with something that isn't asleep.
Yeah. Zamazenta's pretty awake. Eyes look open to me.
Brubonnet going to swap on out, and this, I believe, was a Koraidon, which, pretty solid, neutralizes Surging Strikes. We'll take a decent chunk if it's a close combat, but more importantly, it makes
the
this
boosting guy.
Yep, the Raging Bolt getting that special attack boost.
We'll see what it wants to go for. You will see that close combat into the Korai. It's pretty good damage on its lamp. But Urshifu's gonna drop here. we know for a fact Urshifu drops here.
That Urshifu going down to Electro Web.
I was gonna say, like, at -1 with the +1 on the other end, I'm pretty sure Urshifu just like falls over.
A single blade of grass would have.
But it does mean that you get Calyrex on the field now.
which is very, very useful.
And now you try to win out of this. It's still not ideal spot, but you could try to do something here.
There's a couple options, right? So if you're not afraid of the Zamazenta, you can go for an Electro Web. You're probably going to take one. I would imagine you could take one. And this is a Astral Barrage. And this is a Calyrex that is, it is Terra Ghost Focus Sash. So it is going to be in a rough spot when you have Sucker Punch from Brute Bonnet on the field.
Yeah.
So you're going to see that Astral Barrage connect here.
And ideally for Angelica, this is Astral plus Body Press into not that guy.
No, it seems like it was covering for the switch-in, but...
Yeah, and I get that, but also you do have to worry about Tailwind timing out.
That's the one, of the two you wanted to miss. Obviously, ideally you'd hit both.
Yeah,
but Calyrex
it's not a big deal if it misses the Zama, especially because Zama's already at -1.
Not to mention here that
even if Raging Bolt drops at this point, it's not that big of a deal because you can clean up on your end.
You could have potential.
Angelica does still have 3 Pokemon. It's just the health bars are so low.
You could just go for something kind of silly and Terra Electric Thunderclap to the opposing Calyrex to threaten that big damage there.
I guess it's an option.
I kind of like it.
I don't hate it. Yeah, I guess I don't hate it.
Just looking at the other two Terras, which is
fine.
Terra Ghost on Calyrex on Benny's side and Terra Fire on Brute Bonnet, I don't see any use to not here. I don't think those two Terras are really going to serve much purpose, but if you can get rid of the Calyrex, that's really good, because this Zamazenta, it's Terraing the Dragon, which I like that a lot, actually, but it also means it's now weak to a potential Psychic from the opposing Calyrex, which is really solid. It's also Encore potential on Benny's side, so I think here you just kind of leave the Zamazenta up, try and focus on that left slot, and I think we're going to see this Terra Electric do exactly that.
Damn it out. I don't know what this song is. The one that we're hearing, not the one that you're hearing on the stream side. Because, yeah, there's the Protector on the Calyrex, which I do like that in this spot. And this is, I guess, an opportunity for Angelica potentially to get through something here. Because, yeah, we see the Thunderclap fail. See the Body Press into the Core Eye. Does pick up the KO.
I think it's fine. I actually think that's totally fine.
I think it's okay, but I think that's the big issue was that sort of thing happening for Benny, because now Angelica has ways to kind of try to work this out. It's not ideal still, but...
What I like here, honestly, is a double up into Calyrex. Astral Barrage right away, and I would probably go for a Thunderbolt, or, yeah, just Thunderbolt for safety. The main reason is everything on Angelica's side is going to go down basically to a Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
And if that happens, you now have something called Encore, which means that Zamazenta has to switch or deal with the fact it's locked in the Wide Guard for the rest of the game. And that's really important.
But there is still a switch available for Angelica, which is what's important. Because we will see the Calyrex on the other end go for the taunt, so it can't Encore, actually.
Well, wise call there. But it does mean that the Calyrex is... Oh, no, never mind. Dragon Pulse connecting with the Zamazenta instead.
And does get the KO. The problem is without... I don't think the Angelica can do anything despite all of that. Like despite all the goofiness, I don't actually know if there's a way that Angelica can do anything here, because Astral just KOs.
Yeah.
And even with the Protect, Electro Web just KOs. Ooh, this could actually be... Well, no, it's not a throw, because Astral's going to KO the Torn regardless.
Yeah, that sleep...
Because that's Torn's guaranteed turn. And we haven't gotten the sleep nerfs yet, unfortunately.
And goodbye, Tornadus. Astral Barrage gonna connect here. And at that point, it is pretty impossible for Angelica to win here. It's a Focus Sash Calyrex Shadow against a non-Focus Sash Calyrex Shadow.
It's a -1 Calyrex Shadow, like speed Calyrex Shadow against a normal speed Calyrex Shadow, and neither one has Terra available.
So, yeah. And just because, let's Thunderclap it. Yeah.
So, ultimately a lot of that came down to the lead was just really, really good for Benny.
Yeah.
Like, the lead matchup was just incredibly good for Benny.
Like, easily one of the best leads that Benny could have put.
Yeah.
Actually, just looking at Angelica's side, it's really tough to counter Raging Bolt without your own Raging Bolt, and I would not be surprised if we see Raging Bolt lead. Like, it kind of feels like you have to. But then if that's the case, I like the idea of leading with the Ogerpon Hearth Flame. Because there's a few options there. If it's Koraidon, then it means your Raging Bolt can go into the Koraidon. You need the redirection in case the Brute Bonnet comes out. It's not awful into Calyrex Shadow, especially because you can Snarl with Raging Bolt. So I like that lead with, of course, Zamazenta and Calyrex in the back. I think you just say, forget the rain mode right now. There's too many threats.
This is a very funny call. I'm so curious if he actually decides to lock this in. I kind of want to see it.
No Korai here, which is interesting.
Alright. We'll see.
Ditto time.
Let's see it. Game number 2.
Interesting thing about leading with Ditto is it can go anyway.
Yeah, it's literally just a read.
Please be the Zama.
Oh, did it actually? No, I think it missed it. I think it got the Ogerpon. Which is not terrible, but not what you wanted.
Still really funny.
Do be breaking that mold. And you know what? Ogerpon is breaking the mold. That's, when you notice... Ditto is one of the easiest ways to notice how far back Ogerpon stands, but, it is really funny just when you do notice it.
I've never noticed that till right now.
Ogerpon stands back further than everything else because of the way the Terra Mask goes in front of it, because that then puts it at the normal spot.
That makes a lot of sense.
But it means it stands back like a step and a half back from everybody else, which looks a little weird when you actually pay attention to it.
I actually like how Ogerpon's like, you know what, Brute Bonnet, you can take the hits for me.
Yeah,
it was a good call to try and go for that with the Ditto, but just straight up Spore on Zamazenta, it makes sense. It's a little concerning because you do have potential Follow Me.
I was gonna say, if it is like Follow Me, Body Press, it's still pretty clean, but...
that being said, Raging Bolt, probably the safest Pokemon to come in here. Zamazenta could do a decent chunk with Body Press, but that's about it. Ogerpon can't really do all that much. The Terra Fire makes sense. Don't want to go down to Body Press here, and if called right, you might get a Spore off. But that won't happen because Zamazenta protected.
Okay.
Pretty solid play there for Benny, though, because
just the doubler. Seen a lot of doublers today.
The nice thing, though, for Angelica on the turn, you do waste that Terra on Benny's side, which is useful.
You do get to spot it, also. Like, not only do you waste it, but you get to, like, see it before doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Because it is still a useful Terra. Like, I don't think Benny's upset about having the Terra in that slot now, but, I mean, I think... You can switch Brute Bonnet and Ditto right now.
I was just thinking, is there any downside to that?
Getting Body Press, probably. But
you're at +2, so, like, I feel like...
You'll be at +1, I guess, in comparative sense, but it'd still be kind of valuable.
I like the Calyrex switch in. Kind of bait and switch for Body Presses into that slot, but Wide Guard instead, expecting an Electro Web.
Wide Guard for Electro Web. That is fascinating. Very defensive turns from Angelica.
I'm surprised to see that, considering Spore was a potential, and I guess it makes sense too because you didn't want to take hits from a Electro Web or a Thunderclap as well. But you have Encore, which is solid for the Ogerpon.
The thing is, you could just lock Follow Me, which is what Ogerpon is sitting here to do anyway.
And then that means you can continuously click Astral Barrage, which is fine for Zamazenta because it means you're not doing anything. And if you swap in that Ditto on this turn, it is actually really, really solid because you can lock the opposing Zama into that the Wide Guard, while your own Ditto / Zama is able to Body Press. And so I think the Encore and swap is a pretty solid strategy, honestly.
I would agree in general, but also I worry about just what the Zama gets to do this turn despite that.
That's the only thing here.
Yeah, there's the Encore. Yay! It's funny, it wasn't going for the Follow Me there.
No. It does go for the Body Press, which is fine here.
Follow Me going last.
Rare sight.
Whee!
Now the Astral's really smart, because you're either going to take the Astral, but this is the turn I think that you switch the Ditto in, because if the Wide Guards, it's fine. If not, you're going to take a couple good Body Presses. Even though you're weak to it, you are +1, basically. It's like a Zamazenta going against one that was just sent out. So I think it's fine. Break Card, I guess, makes sense. But the Ogerpon switching is risky. Raging Bolt is fine.
It is the Raging Bolt.
but still.
Yeah, I mean, the concern here is just... I mean, Astral, it's not going to do that much.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah, it's under half the boat.
Better than I thought.
It's not terrible to Zama, but... Cute Bonnet is sent down to pretty low HP, and...
Yeah.
I know how to play.
Protect here's smart. You do have a free Spore if, for some reason, both of them double targeted on the Calyrex.
I was gonna say, if you... if Angelica got real greedy there...
No, like, I was gonna say...
But now you can get the Zama in... Or not the
Ditto Zama.
You know what I'm talking about.
Which is a really, really nice position for it, actually.
It is.
Especially because you can switch into your own Raging Bolt because you don't want to get snarled.
There's no!
We love Ditto here.
There's the Dauntless Shield, and that goes on top of the +1 it already had from becoming Zama, so... It is a very strong Zamazenta on Benny's side.
I am wondering now, is Angelica going to go for the Terra Fairy on her own Raging Bolt to just avoid a body press onto it? And it looks like the answer to that could be yes, but it also could be this Dragon Terra to dodge it. It's the Dragon Terra instead.
I like that. Especially knowing the Terra's been burned on Benny's side.
It's just a really rough spot. Zamazenta versus Zamazenta.
It's the wide guard. I like that. I'm curious what the Raging Bolt goes for. Ooh, Encore
nice
into wide
call
guard
there.
now. The thing is, Angelica still has switches available. You do lose the +1, potentially, but... Oh, that is just a KO. Okay, you know what? That makes sense. +2 guy.
+2 Zamazenta.
Guy's at +2. Guy's a whole +2 right now. And now if you're Angelica, you have to kind of worry a little like, oh man, these guys are kind of strong. I'm gonna send out my own horse. Honestly, not bad though, because you know what? you know what wide guard's useful for? This exact scenario. You're not gonna get hit by body press.
That is true. What weird situation if you want to take the risk and it might be worth it, is to double into Angelica Zama. You are focus stashed, so that's the good news. And then you have wide guard for afterwards. But the question is, with that, you could also just go for this play, which is the wide guard to protect, make sure your own Calyrex is surviving, and then you can just spam Psychic into the opposing Zamazenta, which I think is correct. I would be surprised if we see the exact same play on both sides.
Let's go. Well, the problem is Angelica has the Psy Shock instead of the Psychic.
Yeah.
And so the taunt makes sense here to stop the wide guard.
Much better.
And the wide guard is still available now. Like one more turn of wide guard, and that should be enough.
I think the smart, like what I would go for, I like the idea of swapping that Calyrex on Benny's side into that Raging Bolt and going for a Behemoth Bash, I believe it's Behemoth Bash, into the opposing Calyrex slot.
Yeah, it's Bash.
So then at that next turn, you're free to just go for a Thunderbolt into the Calyrex, Terra Electric if you need it, which I wouldn't...
I mean, the thing is, if you get rid of the... Well, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because Psychic's going to do fine, which also could help for Astral Barrage on the next turn.
I mean, just click Astral. Wide guard Astral on Angelica's side. Because then he can't do that now.
Nope.
So there's the Psychic. It will take out the Zamazenta. But Sashes will be broken this turn. That's for dang sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess I can't be certain, but this should be Astral.
I'd be surprised if it's not.
The Grimnay gets active. There is the Astral, indeed. And brings one down to Sash, brings the other Ditto. Keep in mind, Ditto has a little less HP than normal Zamazenta. I think. Right?
This game...
I have no clue how these Pokemon work. I don't know how this game works. You know what? I changed my mind. I don't know how Pokemon works.
I think this entire game comes down to a speed
CSR
type.
speed type.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why this is my favorite.
I love CSR.
I'm surprised this is the first speed type.
The coolest Pokemon ever. CSR, funniest guy.
I actually like.
They should put him in Champions. He's the funniest.
Regulation M-A.
M-A plus Calyrex, featuring Calyrex. He's such a funny guy. He's gonna be so good at clicking Astro Barrage. Let's see. It's Angelica.
Angelica goes first. I'm surprised you didn't see follow me. First off,
That's a huge crit too.
that is a massive crit. This is a massive crit.
Because yeah, it should put Angelica in a fantastic spot to win this. Regardless of what the Zama targets here, it will probably drop pretty soon. It does go for the Ogre Pawn.
Yeah. A little bit of a risk to attack there.
Actually, oh wait, no, Ditto is the okay, yeah, never mind. I was like, hold on, wait, Ditto's the, but no, Ditto's the other guy.
I think here though, actually,
wait, what happened to the Raging Bolt?
Raging Bolt went down to body press.
It went down to body press. Oh my goodness, hold on. Never mind, Benny just wins.
I think Benny wins this with a clap.
Oh, never mind, no clap.
Doesn't need to clap. Okay.
Yeah, I mean you don't need to.
First of all, that's
I think it's safer not to. Yeah. So, yeah. Benny wins. Sorry, I thought there was still a Raging Bolt in the bag, and I was like, oh, Raging Bolt, this is just gonna win. And I was like, wait, no Raging Bolt.
No, that's funny because my thought process was like, oh, you just need to, like, survive a single body press. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. This is a +2 Zama.
Yeah, it's a +2 Zama.
It's gone.
Congrats to Benny, though. 4-1 on the day. He will be making Top Cut. We will be seeing him later. Angelica at 3-2. She will have to wait on the results to be tabulated.
Yes.
To see on the Top Cut decision there.
Still, it's always nice when your last loss of the day is in round 5, though, because it helps you know, like, okay, what am I resistance to 4-1?
And when you're in the 3-2 spot and you lost to a 4-1, you're like, okay, that's a bit better than being at like 3-2 and just beating a 2-3, you know? It helps in a lot of ways. But in any case, we'll take a quick break. We will tabulate all the results, and then we will be back for Top Cut, so you don't want to go anywhere.